Excellent work. Only 38 seconds over the pitch.
Sorry about
Any questions?
Yeah,
Doug?
I like it. I think one of the things you do really well, I had a quick look at the website beforehand.
Okay.
I love the very simple video you've got. It's a great example for any other startups. Just put a quick video up showing someone use the product and really helped me get it. So you mentioned there's a lot of people doing docs and image apps. Why has no one addressed the web design space? Yeah.
The key thing is if you're loading a page into an application, it has to run in a language that allows you to then republish that page easily. So I'm not the technical person behind this, but the best way and the only real way to do that is with JavaScript. And to solve the problem, it's been part of the reason that we've got this USP. We have solved the problem that allows you to do that. And we can take it offline and tell you a lot more about the technical side. But it's because of the technical development that's had to go into the product to get it to this stage that has meant no one else has solved it.
I have another theory, James, and that is that some problems are left unsolved because they're not inherently sufficiently profitable.
Okay.
The challenge the challenge I have here is that there's a big difference between Word and Dreamweaver,
Sure.
which are the metaphorical equivalents of a Google Doc or Excel, and that is that almost every desktop uses Word. 1 out of a million uses Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver is a tool for professionals. And so your top-down analysis where you said if we just get X percentage of a market, merely because a lot of people don't do it today, they won't necessarily do a complex artistic-driven thing tomorrow because you've taken that tool and put it on the web.
Sure.
The putting it on the web and reducing the price doesn't make the size of the market. It's the number of people who desire to do it, and I would assert in large part that there's a reason you have professionals for artistic work is because you need professionals for artistic work.
We're not taking away the creative process, and sites like Weebly and the likes try to do that. We're just giving people a tool in the cloud to continue their creative process.
I agree with that. Therefore, the question that arises is how large is this market?
Well, there are two markets, okay? So there's the professionals, potentially not huge, 3 million in the US is one figure. But the SME approach is massive. There are many, many companies that have websites that don't have a permanent web design resource where all they want to do is upload some new pictures or change a telephone number or change the text on the front page. There are billions of sites out there like that.
We have 1 minute left for any other judges.
I'll let
The
somebody
Savage.
else get a shot at you.
I think the point is I agree because it's almost like taking a kind of 1.0 thinking and failing. I was going to say you need a kind of partnership strategy fast because if you think about how people buy those services, it's tied into the hosting of their website, it's tied into all sorts of other things that you just need to be sold. And so really effectively you're latching on somebody else's bandwagon. So I'm not sure what the long-term value of the business would be, but you probably just, if your application has its own unfair advantage, get yourself into some, ISPs, hosting registrars, all of the different services around it, and sell it through that and make yourself somehow indispensable to those people. But I think it is a short-term game, and I'm not sure what the long-term value is either.
Okay, I think, unless there's any other feedback from the panel, we'll move on to our next pitch. Thank you very much, Bildor. You have 2 minutes. Are you ready?
Not quite. Hang on.
Okay. What did Fred Destin say? Get your tech ready. You ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, so at Gigulate, we're obsessed with music information. We love music news, we love gig listings, we love reviews, we love all that kind of stuff. And what we're trying to do is create the world's greatest music news service and then try and aggregate a whole bunch of other music information to try and create something that's really, really valuable for consumers, but also really, really valuable for other publishers and music brands to try and find out what's going on in the music space. So it was built on a bunch of key trends, right? The first one is that recorded music as a revenue, or recorded music as a kind of phenomenon, is just 149 years old. It's not particularly old as far as the music industry at large is concerned, and it's shrinking by 9% year on year. The other thing is that the live music industry is growing by 25 billion, is now worth $25 billion in 2008, and it's growing by 10% year on year. And the other thing is that the consumers have set the perceived value of recorded music at £0 and 0 pence. Okay, so that's something that we've recently been kind of punched in the face a little bit with. So that's quite an interesting phenomenon. The other thing is that we're kind of stuck in the middle of a recession, so it's causing things like data interoperability and kind of semantic web to become more and more important as publishers look to try and backfill their content by trying to deliver a more in-depth solution without having to take on extra staff. The other trend is that the label licensing models are very prohibitively expensive, and the audiences want news, blogs, and gigs and gig listings just as much as ever. So all the rest of the music information that surrounds the recording is just as valuable, and we want to try and find a way to make that useful. So the problem is that we're trying to take on is that you can't go and read 1,000 different music news, blogs, kind of sources all at once. So we're trying to sort that for you. We try and create a head and a tail to all of that information. So, and we categorize by various methods. We categorize by location, by artist, by sentiment, by popularity, and then we try and put together the ultimate music news solution. How does it work? We use RSS, data mining, a whole bunch of cloud systems, and a bunch of algorithms to try and find out what's going on in the music world as far as the information is concerned. And from that we can discern a whole bunch of things, including things like, if you like two artists, we might be able to make an assumption that you like another artist on the back of that. So we can build a new dimension of recommendation engines out of all of the music content that exists across the world. Our business model is fourfold. It's a kind of, agile business model, if you like. We're going to use ads to try and help us in as far as the revenue is concerned. We sell tickets, and so there's an affiliate fee that we make out of those. We've just launched our API today, so out of that we're going to work with other publishers to charge them to backfill all of their content using our technology, and we can also measure the buzz. So if you're a band and you want to find out what's going on in the world about you, who's talking about you, when they're talking about you, how much they're talking about you, then you can measure the buzz there. Am I running over?
Oh, yeah.
That's our team. That's what we got. That's our strategy. That's what we need. That's where we're going. That's our strategy.
Well done.